This Perth Summer League Ice Hockey broadcast is proudly brought to you by Varsity Nedlands. Shutterguard.com.au, Perth's best roller shutters for over 30 years. CD Dog, scrap metal recyclers. Bright Tank Brewing Co. And Front Row Screens, your local streaming superheroes.
And welcome back to the Perth Ice Arena, where it's time for leg 2 of our Wednesday night rivalry night doubleheader. All thanks to CD Dog, Scrap Metal Recyclers, Front Row Screens, the Bright Tank Brewing Company, Shutterguard and the Varsity Bar over in the Netherlands. Hope you're all enjoying the game over there, having a nice bite and a bev before the second leg of action. This match sees the ELK looking to go 18 wins for the competition and are a win clear on top of the ladder with a very healthy percentage. They're going up against the Weak Kings, who have had a nice little patch in form. Nice little patch in form in the last couple of weeks and got themselves back into the top 4. Of course, after making the grand final last season, the Weak Kings, despite a 9-2 loss to the Outlaws on Valentine's Day, they were able to get back on the winners list convincingly with a 3-1 victory over the Grizzlies this past Sunday. This next match, well, it is going to be a very tall task because they've got the ELK, who have been dominating the competition. They have been the team to beat, led by Connor Mackay, Andrew Cox and Mark Mulkidja. They're coming off 2 very big wins up against the Crusaders 6-2 and the Wolves 12-1. Of course, their biggest win coming against that team last week 2-1. And this is the second time in the last couple of days that they have met. This past Sunday, the Weak Kings and the ELK staged an absolute thriller on Sunday at about in the 5:30 game, and it was the ELK that won out 4-3 in that contest. Will we see another thriller between the two teams, or can the Weak Kings gain a little bit of revenge and get themselves firmly into the top 4 picture? We're glad you can join us live on Front Row Screens on our Facebook page and, of course, on the PSL Facebook page. Let us know wherever you may be watching from Western Australia and around the world. This is going to be a very, very scintillating matchup between these two teams. Watch out for guys like Kershaw for the Weak Kings, Sinnott, McRae, and also Evgeny Sedenko, one of the stars for the Chiefs in the winter competition. And then you've got the ELK, Connor Mackay leading from the front, Ray Karamoski, Blake Georgiev, the Maybe Boys. They are a deadly combination. Watch out for them on the offensive zone. It's going to be a great game, this. Both teams looking to maintain their respective measure heading into the final series. We know the Weak Kings will be there if they win, given what has happened to the Grizzlies, Crusaders and the Moose over the last couple of days, including that last game where the Moose defeated the Crusaders 4-5 in another scintillating contest. Will we see another? The last couple of Wednesday night rivalry night matches have been nothing short of entertaining. We've had a couple of overtimes this season. We've also had some last goal winners. No doubt that has been very exciting for all the ice hockey fans here in WA and all throughout the country and around the world for that matter, who are watching our live stream. Of course, Front Row Screens, the #1 in 2021. It's going to be a big year in sport, so make sure you tune in throughout the season. A lot of good stuff coming for Western Australia. But here tonight, it's going to be another scintillating contest as you see the Weak Kings huddling up, just getting the last words. You see there Murphy. No doubt he'll be in for a big game. Jesse Forgus and Simon Clement getting the words from James Kershaw, the captain. He's led this side well over the last couple of weeks. They lost to the ELK in the last time that they met on Sunday, but they had a good win over the Grizzlies and then had a good win over the Beavers on January the 28th, on the last of the fixtures before our snap lockdown. So the Weak Kings, 2 of the last 3, they've hit a nice patch in form. The ELK, well, they just keep on winning. Who is going to take out this one? Who will get the 2 points? We're going to find out in these 3 periods of 18 minutes here at the Perth Ice Arena. Nice atmosphere happening by the crossbar on the left-hand side of your screen. Puck drops, we're underway. Vital game for both these teams. The ELK looking to continue their stranglehold atop the ladder. The Weak Kings looking to entrench themselves firmly in the top 4. And the attacking zone for the Weak Kings. They get the first entry. Maybe forced to push back. Fine ball to Dewar. Not Dewar it is, it's Kaiuchi, I should say. Kaiuchi playing it along the defensive boards. Maybe Wheat Kings doing everything they can to escape from the defensive zone. Forgus playing it along the wings, intercepted maybe. And now going cross ice here, opening up some space. Opening up some space, playing it along the wings, but it's only as far as Sedenko behind the goal line. Good tight passing here. This is what's going to be needed early between both sides. Under immediate pressure there was Corey Booton, luckily not to concede an open goal. And the puck bouncing over the barriers and onto the Wheat Kings bench. We will have ourselves a face-off. Wheat Kings have had a couple of good wins against top teams. The ELK, they nearly snatched the game against the ELK last Sunday. But the ELK just hang on with resilient defence and heavy penetration inside the slot to win that one 4-3 and go a win clear of the Outlaws and another win clear of the Beavers on top of the ladder. They're going for their 18th win from 21 games this season. Remember, each team plays each other 4 times in this competition, and the top 6 go through to the finals, like the old McIntyre football final system back in the day. Slisky from defensive zone. Goes direct. Turned over again, the ELK. Looking to control the puck here in this first half. Slisky alongside the defensive line. Pressurised into a turnover. Maybe looking to do some damage from centre ice. Slisky, nice moves from centre ice, looking for the breakaway. One of the ELK defenders lost his footing there. Slisky with the shot. Elected to go cross ice instead. Didn't find enough space inside the slot. Open ice pass out towards the offensive zone for the ELK. And it's covered brilliantly there by number 79 there, Paul Slisky. Nice chain of passes here for the Wheat Kings, setting up their entry again. They've had more of it on the offensive zone, while the ELK are just getting those open ice passes left, right and centre without any creative flair and opportunity. Now they have their first. Mukija was able to take control, but only momentarily. Hoist pass back onto centre ice. And it finds Brian maybe. Maybe shoots, and Booton with the easy stone-in save just outside the crease line. First 3 minutes have elapsed in this second match, a Wednesday night rivalry night here at the Perth Ice Arena. As we see on the CD Dodd replay, good recovery from maybe on centre ice. Gets the breakaway going. And went for the wrist shot under pressure. But Booton making the easy save. We're back live. Kershaw has the puck in his path. Can he go cross ice to Sinnott? He's the only target. That's where he goes. But Sinnott was just out of time to receive the puck from his captain. And it looks as though there was an offside call. That is against the Wheat Kings here. And it's going to go to the neutral line. We'll have a face-off. Glad you can join us live on Front Row Screens, your number 1 in 2021. Back and forth the puck goes on centre ice. Well played there by Mukija. He's a reliable weapon. Mukija on the low slot, shoots, Booton, Mukija with a tip in, just wide the left-hand crossbar. Very lucky the Wheat Kings not to concede. The ELK can be very damaging inside that offensive zone when the puck's at their possession. Mukija, who's been very reliable this season inside that offensive zone. The puck goes through the gap between the plexiglass and the net, and it's going to be a face-off. Both sides making line changes to every position. ELK like to play in an open formation out of the face-off. This time around, they're going a little bit tighter. They've got Duncan on the slot to protect. Shot there from Karamovsky, fended off brilliantly. Interception there by McWalter. McWalter playing it towards the goal line. Cross ice, Mukija with the turnover, fine defence. Duncan. Wheat Kings, however, find a way to recover. Ondrasek. Looking to move the puck freely. Mackay, the captain, shoots from the corner of the circle. And Booton with another good clutch save. Stops the ELK in their tracks. We'll have ourselves a face-off. Certainly has been a tight start for both teams thus far, as the ELK had won the face-off But as has been the habit, the Wheat Kings quickly recovered in defence. They've improved on the defensive zone, their formation and their passing in the last 3 weeks. And that's why they've been in better form, winning 2 of their last 3 games and going into 4th place on the ladder. Slisky almost tipped in. Duncan with backhand inside the slot. But couldn't get that one in time. Recovered by Slisky. Played forward to Ondrasek. And now he can form the breakaway. He elects to go along the wings now. Interesting pass towards Aaron Bertram. Finds himself under immediate pressure, but releases McWalter. Good play by Bertram. McWalter, open ice hoist pass towards the defensive goal line. And easily played there by Matty Whelan. Well played by Maybe. Maybe going cross ice. Maybe to the Maybe boys. Duncan shoots. Booten with the easy save. That leaves an open crease. Scrambling for it there was Maybe. But Booten again going down low and saving it in front. It'll be a face-off. The ELK starting to really put the pressure on the Wheat Kings, as we see here on the replay. Maybe finding the breakaway. Went cross ice there to Duncan. But unfortunately, Booten was not able to convert on this occasion. Maybe recovers the puck off the defensive turnover. Braden Maybe almost losing it in his tracks. But they have the low slot covered enough. Mukija tipped in. Maybe almost getting that one into the back of the net. They've had more opportunities close to the slot here. It really should be about 2 goals in front. But the Wheat Kings have defended well, not discrediting their play at all. Kershaw, hoist pass, turned over on centre ice. Again, going in the hoist route. Again and again turned over. This time Sedenko for the Wheat Kings. Kayuchi. Forced to push back. Karamovsky. He's going to find some space, and he does. That's Mark Mukija. Hoist pass, cross ice, beautifully played. What can Mukija do? Can he maintain control? He keeps it in front. Pushes forward. Lovely play. Mackay. Pressured into the turnover, but recovers to Mukija. 2-on-1. 1 out by Sedenko from behind the goal line. However, he's pinned there by Maybe. 2-on-2. No real advantage in this contest. Mukija working it out in front. Great play from Mukija. Well set up towards Mackay. He shoots inside the crease, but to no avail. Murphy with the turnover. Goes cross ice to McWalter. Has no room to pass. He has to shoot himself. He has to shoot for the nets himself. No avail there, but again, the ELK playing it along the wings. They're tightening it up, but no one in support. Only the Wheat Kings were able to enforce the turnover. Murphy shoots from the corner point. McWalter looking for the rebound tip in. Didn't get that one in. And again, the Maybe boys proving very dangerous. Maybe loses the puck, trickles away from the pack. And now Dan Abberton pushed out back. Flick forward, only as far as Maybe. Abberton and Ondrasek. Open ice pass towards the defensive zone for the ELK. It'll be an icing call, so the ELK will have the advantage in this particular face-off. Glad you can join us live. Still 0-0 here at the Perth Ice Arena. Less than 9 minutes to go on the CD Dodd scoreboard. Being very tight, very defensive first period here. Douglas. Turned over. On the rebound is Slisky. Pushes forward. And now Ondrasek. Ondrasek, beautiful cross-ice pass to the path of Murphy. Keeps it in front. Forced to push back. He was looking for Slisky, but turned it over. On the defensive rebound now of the ELK. Here's Maybe. Finds some space inside the slot. Looking for the one hand. Was there a bit of illegal interference there? Referee saying no. Maybe towards Maybe, looking for the inside zip in. But Slisky fends it brilliantly. Murphy along the boards. And now Brian Maybe. Turned over. Douglas recovers the turnover for the ELK. Playing along the sideboards. Both the players getting pretty physical. Douglas has the opportunity. Can he keep it in front? No, unfortunately he doesn't. Slisky been good in defence so far in this first period. Ondrasek, what can he do? Almost got cleaned up there by a couple of ELK players, and it looks like there was interference or offside. It looked like it was interference there. And it is against the ELK, yes. And that'll be some time in the penalty box. That is for Kaiuchi for that interference. So that'll be the first of the Varsity Bar power plays here tonight. So 2 minutes for Takiko Kaiuchi inside the penalty box, and it'll be a vital penalty for the Wheat Kings if they can score. But the short-handed disadvantage may prove in favour for the ELK because they're normally good at this situation. Mukija. 2-on-1 turns into 2-on-2. Mukija has some support from Maybe, but he's forced to push back towards the slot to protect the slot area. Sedenko under pressure from Maybe. Great play by Sedenko, keeping it in front. Well played. Works it from behind the goal line. Goes cross ice under a bit of pressure. Now Forju's combining there with Sinnott. Sinnott forced to push towards the end boards there. Sinnott opens up some space on the point. Sedenko shoots. And that's a good save in the end there. Dylan Dwyer by the net to his left. Have ourselves a face-off. Still under a minute left in this power play. The ELK have done well to kill this one off, especially in that passage between Slisky and Braden Maybe, where Maybe forced Slisky out back from behind the goal line in order to prohibit the Wheat Kings from pushing the puck forward very quickly. They're good at the tempo game. The ELK, they control it very well when it's in when the puck is going their way. Open ice pass towards the defensive zone for the Wheat Kings. Booten. And now finding Sedenko. Sedenko's going to try and play it quickly here. That's what they do. McWalter looking for the opportunity at the short-handed goal. McWalter from the corner. Tried to go cross ice there, but it backfired. Turned over easily there by the captain, Mackay. 2-on-1, just overwhelming Mackay at that battle. ELK will be likely to kill off this penalty quite well. They defended brilliantly throughout the last 2 minutes when Kaiuchi was sitting out in the penalty box. And the penalty has expired. The ELK has killed it off very well indeed. And the ELK are back at full strength now, 5-on-5, as a few line changes are being made. In the meantime, there is an icing call, and it'll go the way of the Wheat Kings. Puck will go all the way back to the Wheat Kings attacking zone. 5 minutes to go on the CD Dodge scoreboard. Still no goals in it. It's been very tight and defensive. You could say even Stevens at the moment. Here at the Perth Ice Arena. What can they do here? Face-off being won by the Wheat Kings. Slisky. Hard slap shot. Doesn't get it in. Almost tipped in late there by Fred Paulus. He's had a few minutes on the ice thus far. Maybe. Pressurised in a 2-on-1. Slisky. Good body checking. Allowed Paulus to recover the puck. Back and forth on centre ice they go. It's been that way for much of this opening period. Rachel Kokopoulos, I should say, has only had her first few minutes on the ice here. Slisky has some space on the defensive ice. Open ice pass towards the goal line, and it will be an icing call. This time, the ELK will have a chance to inflict the first score on the board. 3.5 minutes to go. Still 0-all if you're just joining us here at the Perth Ice Arena. You've only just gotten home from a long day at work. Why not tune in to some ice hockey action from the best state in the country, Western Australia. And you've got the Perth Summer League, which is in full swing. Only a few weeks to go before the regular season ends and finals commences. Paulus down on his haunches. So is Douglas. Douglas with a little bit of banter there from Slisky. In the meantime, the puck is on the low slot and stoned in by Dwyer. We'll have a face-off. Face-off won by the ELK. Maybe. And, of course, Mackay playing it towards the sideboards. Mukija, beautiful back flick pass, allows the offensive player in maybe to shoot, but misses that one. That was point blank range there. Mukija turned over. McWalter, he's got Murphy all alone in that mid-slot area, but the pass came a little too late. Sedenko looking to push that one out of centre ice, but only as far as a couple of ELK. Again, Mukija with the backhand flick, looking for maybe. Just loses control, Murphy. Only one ELK covering that offensive zone. Murphy shoots, good pad save there, Dwyer. Walter again off the turnover, 2-on-1. Or unintentionally tripping up there. Referee say that's okay, let the game go on. No icing call. Sedenko gets on with him. In fact, yes, there is an icing call. ELK plays in the meantime, giving each other a little bit of encouragement. The goal here has been a premium, you could say, in this game. Sinnott winning the face-off. At the back of the defensive board, Sinnott didn't get all of that wrist shot in. And now Mukija tried with the backhand flick again. That's his best weapon. Sedenko shoots from the corner point. Again, Dwyer with a nice save off the pads. Open ice pass out towards the defensive zone. It'll be another icing call. Winning the face-off there was the ELK again, but immediately turning it over, McWalter. And now number 16 in Jesse Forgues. Tried to go cross ice. Kershaw was open on the high point. Went for the shot off a step. 2-on-1 on the mid-slot. It's a big scramble for it. No interference called. That's completely okay. Going along the wings now. Great play. Fighting Maybe. Maybe shoots. Boom. Getting that one in at the last second. And in the process, taking the net out and also maybe out. Well, that was a great one-on-one battle between the two, and the time will run out. That would have been the big chance for the ELK to get a score on the board at the end of the opening period, as we see here as the buzzer goes. Maybe on the breakaway from that beautiful cross-ice pass. Looked to tip that one in, but under pressure, boot. Heroic save in the context of this opening period. We go into the second period now at 0-0 on the CD Dodd scoreboard. We'll be back with all the second period action shortly.
Shutterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shutterguard.com.au. If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
Welcome back to Perth Ice Arena. Start of the second period in just a matter of moments. We'll take you back to centre ice in a few seconds, but we see some highlights. They're very tight and very defensive opening period, but in those last few minutes, the ELK had plenty of chances to convert, but unfortunately, they could not make the most of them. The score's still at 0-0 as we approach the second period. Now, we'll take you back onto centre ice for the puck drop to begin this second period. It'll be McWalter and maybe to start things off. We're underway. The vital second period coming up. Sinnott from the defensive zone, went cross ice, turned over there. Brian maybe playing it out in front. He's on the breakaway. He shoots and maybe gets the first one on the board right away. Brian maybe with a fine turnover on centre ice, following that up with a breakaway into clear air on the low slot with a hard slap shot. Bang goes the first one on the board. And as we see on the CD Dodd replay, maybe presence of mind to turn it over on centre ice. Nice slick moves. And maybe says, thank you very much, I'll have that one. 1-0 to the top of the ladder rail. Can they extend their advantage, or can the Wheat Kings respond quickly? Murphy losing the puck momentarily there on Drasek. Maybe. In fact, it was an offside call. Got told it was an offside call. In the meantime, face-off, it was an icing call. Puck on the ELK attacking zone. Maybe looking for a second, and it's Mukija who tips it in on the edge of the slot. The ELK are starting to come into their own now as Mukija fires up a second within 40 seconds. A magnificent goal. Mark Mukija with the tip in deep in the slot. As we check it out on the CD Dodd replay, it was a big scramble. And Mukija finding his way through, getting some space on the right-hand side of the low slot. Good tip in, finding some space at the back of the net to sink the second one in. 2-0 just like that to the top of the ladder rail, showing why they are the side to beat in 2020-21. Sinnott. Sinnott from the corner point. He looked for the hoist shot there, but didn't have any effect. Kershaw. Space heavily trafficked by the ELK here. Good defence by the top of the ladder rail. Turned over, but back and forth it goes. Zdenko, he shoots, but ricocheted there off Mackay. Again turned over, and Sinnott again. Losing control of the puck. Duncan. Duncan looking to break away out towards the offensive zone. He does, but was immediately covered by Sinnott. He's had plenty of it. Sinnott, good solo effort here, just couldn't convert at the last second. He went to go cross ice towards Sinnott, I should say, and Kershaw. But now they've got the puck back in control. Here's Zdenko, who's looking to have another big season with the Chiefs in the Winter League when it begins in just a month and a half's time here at the Perth Ice Arena and, of course, in Coburn. Turned over, the Wheat Kings looking to get one back. Here's Forges from the corner, ricocheted off the back of the net, no score. Fine recovery there, Mitchell Duncan. Breaks away along the wings, 2-on-1. The 2 was always going to win in that one. And off the back, here's McWalter. He had plenty of chances in the first, has another one, Dewar. Stoning that one in brilliantly, but it was offside. So it wouldn't have counted anyway. Bit of a late call, I will say, but it was made nonetheless. And it looks like it's going to be a penalty against Chris Douglas. Yes, it is, as we see here. A little bit of hooking interference there with the stick, as we saw there on the replay. So another penalty against the ELK. They're still leading the game. They killed off the previous one early in the first. Can they do it again? Brian maybe. We scored the first goal at the start of the second period. Whelan. They're just wanting to push it forward very quickly to ease up the pressure, as another varsity bar power play is in full swing. Maybe on the breakaway, finds some space on the corner, shoots. Looking for the short-handed goal, well saved by Booten to his left. This is when the Stars come out to play in crunch time for the PSL, maybe. Maybe just moving it to space, trying to kill off this penalty time. And very smartly too, he's on the breakaway, finds some space in the slot. This is where he's at his best. Goes for the shot and the tip in, misses them both, but he's very damaging in that area. And an easy icing call there. It was an open ice pass from Sinnott. Well, that was Slisky, I should say. And again, the time continues to chew up. And this is good for the ELK. They've got the momentum that they want. now that they are 2-0 up in the space of a number of minutes. So they need to kill off this penalty because the Wheat Kings in this situation are also damaging. Face-off being won by the Wheat Kings. Sinnott. Fine play along the wings. Pushes it to the goal line. And the end boards. Mackay. Slap shot. 1-on-1. Kershaw again from the corner. Goes cross ice on Drasek. What was he doing? Shot. Got a centre point there. That was by Kershaw as well. In fact, it was a Clement, I should say. But he didn't get all of that one. Clement finds some space inside the low slot, but covered off by two ELK defenders. Here's Sinnott again. In the meantime, the ELK have killed off another penalty. Cross-ice pass to Paulus. Scrambling for it inside the crease, but bobbled out over the top of Dewar. Nice defence there by Karamovsky. Wheat Kings trying to do everything they can. The ELK not giving it to them, I will say. Open ice pass. Will be an icing call. That'll be good for the Wheat Kings. Puck will go all the way back to the Wheat Kings attacking zone. They're going to try and open up the play here. They haven't got anyone traffic in the slot, but they've got three players out on the open. Sinnott shoots to the right there of Dewar. Nicely played. Tripped up there was Douglas. And it went over the net, but it will count as that tripping call anyway. And it has sent Fred Paulus to the penalty box. We'll have another varsity bar power play. No, in fact, it is Duncan. In fact, no penalty time it is. There's a bit of confusion going on here as to who is in the box. So no power play needed. It looked as though at first we'd be getting a power play, but the referee said, no, that's the wrong call, no penalty. So we'll lose the varsity power play there, unfortunately. In fact, yes, we will. The referees just had a chat with another one of the referees. A little bit of confusion going on here. So a delay of the game here while the clock continues to run. It was a clear tripping on Paulus from the defensive goal line from one of the ELK players. And yes, they have confirmed now that it was Connor Mackay who's going to spend some time in the penalty box. So we'll roll that varsity power play up once again, this time for real, no stitch-ups. And the power play will be in full swing. It is for Connor Mackay on the scoreboard. That first opportunity there coming from Kershaw off the face-off on the centre of the slot, but it was instantly clutched there by Dylan Dewar. Okay, so joining us live, tipped in there. Great presence from Ryan Jesse Forgews. Forgews capitalising on the face-off victory and the penalty situation where it was 5-on-4, so they scored a fine penalty goal. And they've trimmed the margin back 2-1. As you see on the CD Dodd replay, Sinnott won the face-off, pushed cross ice. Kershaw flicking it forward at the presence of mind. Forgews with space on the low slot, tipped that one in and gets the first goal for the Wheat Kings. 2-1 the scoreline, less than 9 minutes to go on the CD Dodd scoreboard. It's all thanks to CD Dodd, Varsity Bar, Shatterguard, and the Bright Tank Brewing Company. We thank you very much for coming on board this season. Sinnott, can he get another one? Sinnott shoots, Dewar, letting that one loose, but stoning that one in. Great save, Dylan Dewar. This is where the Wheat Kings' momentum has swung back their way. Vital face-off. Wheat Kings are going at a tighter formation there, but it didn't work as the ELK won the face-off. Mackay trying to push it out. Murphy. And it went through the plexiglass. And we'll have ourselves a face-off. And it was an early call for interference against Paulus. So this time a Wheat King will go to the penalty box. In fact, no. Still mammoth confusion here. This is 2 times now that this situation has gone on. So no penalty this time. Back to 5-on-5, full strength. Karamoski from the defensive zone. Tries to release the pressure. Murphy out in front. Maybe. Beautiful cross-ice pass. Mukija. He's a deadly weapon in offense. Great move by Mukija. Can he follow it up? No, it's turned over. Slisky, great defense. Slisky, good use of the stick. Keeps the puck in front. Getting a nice applause from the crossbar there in the meantime. Slisky pushes it back to the defensive boards. Clement. What can he do this time? Clement. Turns it over. Mukija. Mukija finding some space on the slot. Shoots, and Mukija gets a double. Mark Mukija is really starting to catch fire again. When the game is in the balance, Mark Mukija, before you know it, he can score a hat-trick of goals and put the game beyond doubt even before it's finished. Mukija is such a deadly weapon when the puck is on the offensive zone. Let's have a look at the replay thanks to CD. Mukija against the sideboards, kept the puck out in front of him. Great solo effort there. Mark Mukija scoring his double. And the score now 3-1 in favour of the ELK with just under 6.5 minutes remaining in this second period. McWalter loses control of it immediately. Maybe. Hoist pass into space. Kershaw deep in the slot, but it was offside. Referee spot on to make that call. Kershaw was deep in the low slot, but was ruled offside. But they do have another chance inside the offensive zone. It'll be a face-off on the inner circle. Immediately pushing it forward there was Slisky. Almost turning it over. Open ice pass. And first to it there is Douglas. Douglas from the corner shoots. Clutch save there by Booten. Immediately releases it for Simon Clement. There's a control. Douglas. Back and forth the puck goes. Cross ice towards Clement. Clement cross ice again. Looking for Kershaw, who was deep inside the slot. Kershaw goes for the old wedge into the green. Slisky. Oh, he was intended target was Kershaw because he isolated himself inside the low slot. And that's where he may want to go in this next passage, but elects not to. They've had to push back in order to increase their passing options when they've got the puck back in their possession. Smart play by the Wheat Kings, forcing the ELK back. Cross ice again. This time it went in the direction of Sedenko. Turned over behind the goal line. And this time it is Brian Maybe. Maybe plays it along the wings, under pressure. Forgues with the turnover. Oh, missing his wrist shot entirely there was Clement. But Sinnott is able to come to the rescue. Sinnott just mans it slowly on the defensive zone. Sedenko. Big season with the Chiefs in 2020 in the winter competition. Expect him to have another big year in 2021 when that comes around. Wardlaw and Douglas maybe misses it. They're taking the puck along the wings now are the Wheat Kings. Sedenko shoots and that goes off the net. Immediate face-off. We're glad you're joining us live from the Perth Ice Arena. If you're joining us for the first time, live on front row screens, the ELK leading 3-1. Sinnott shoots. And that one just in reach for Dylan Dwyer to his right to make the save. 3-1 the scoreline, less than 4 minutes to go on the CD Dodd scoreboard. The scorers, first of all, for the ELK so far, Mark Mukija with another double. And Brian Maybe with one. And Jesse Forgues with one for the Wheat Kings. As we see here on the replay, a big opportunity for Sedenko from the high point to get the slap shot in, just in reach for Dwyer to make the save. And as we go back live, the ELK have got it back into their attacking zone. Mackay couldn't get all of the slap shot in. Back and forth, the puck goes along the wings now. Sedenko taking it along the inner wing. 2-on-1, well defended by the ELK, but there was illegal interference. It was a hooking. And that is against the ELK. And it'll be, it looks like another player in the penalty box. This will be the third time that an ELK player has gone to the penalty box. This time, Braden Maybe for that illegal hooking. So it'll be 5-on-4 for the third time in this game, and for the second time it'll be in favour of the Wheat Kings. A vital goal here would get them back into the game. Forgues, late tip in, Kershaw off the back of the net from the plexiglass, and we'll have another face-off, this time on the outer circle. And if you want to look ahead to some more great action next week on Wednesday night rivalry night, we begin the March action with the Beavers doing battle with the Wheat Kings and the Crusaders taking on the Wolves. That is March 3rd, Wednesday night rivalry night. You're tuning on Front Row Screens and, of course, the PSL Facebook page. As Sinnott takes it towards the slot, shoots, and just wide to the right-hand crossbar. Slisky from high point. Is he going to go for the slap shot? Considering his options, plays it forward to Sinnott. Sinnott goes cross ice, scrambling for Sinnott. He shoots, and again, Dewar, clutch save. The slot heavily protected by both teams. Under 2 minutes remaining. Kayuchi gets the better of the face-off, but only as far as Sinnott for the Wheat Kings. Low slot heavily covered. Sinnott shoots, and beautifully taken there, Dewar. The ELK chewing up as much time as possible and trying to kill off their second penalty for this match. Kershaw wins it this time. Going for the triangle play, but they go directly back to Sinnott. Slisky shoots. Forced to go behind the goal line. Sinnott. Out to Slisky again. Ambitious pass at the risk of a turnover. Clement. Going cross ice. Beautiful pass. Sinnott needs to control it. That's what he does. Brilliant play. Cross ice again. Kershaw! Kershaw scores! Just the goal that they needed. Another short-handed goal. That's their second of this game, and the first by the captain in this evening's action. And with less than 50 seconds to go, that goal may bring the Wheat Kings back into the game. As we see on the CD Dodd replay, Sinnott looked for the cross-ice pass, tipped off by Ondrasek. Kershaw, with the puck in his vicinity, had some space inside the low slot, tipped it in, and got the Wheat Kings' second goal of this match. That is a vital goal that brings them back into the game. Forges again. Forges on the low slot, scores another one. 2 in 20 seconds. Good God almighty, what a massive turnover. A massive turnaround, I should say, for the Wheat Kings. Scores will be level at the end of the second period. The buzzer will go in just a matter of moments. And as we see on the CD Dot replay, off the face-off, Forgues breaking away. Nice moves towards the offensive zone, and a nice wrist shot on the low slot to get that one to the back of the net and level the scores. So at the end of 2, it is 3-3. We are going to be in for another thrilling contest between these two teams. Back with the final period here at the PIA shortly.
Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au. If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
Well, the second Well, the second period was in complete contrast to what the first had in store here at the Perth Ice Arena. No goals in the first period, and then the intensity really turned up a notch with 6 goals in the second period, 3 to each team. As we go back now to centre ice for the start of the third and final period. This one is going to be an absolute ripper as the puck drops. We're underway for the final stanza. Here at the Perth Ice Arena, back and forth it goes. Back on the centre ice now. The ELK win possession. Mulkija playing it along the wings. Was he tripped up? I think he was. Yes, that is against Murphy. The refs had it spot on there. And it'll be a face-off, and I think as well the penalty box will be beckoning for Murphy. Yes, I'm afraid so. So just not what the Wheat Kings were after there with a penalty to start things off. And it'll be 5-on-4 again. And another player's been forced to have a spell on the bench as well as a result. There's Paulus going onto the bench. Face-off on the inner circle. Maybe. He's out on that one. Maybe tip that one in. Mulkija almost tipping that one into the backhand. Mulkija making Sedenko lose the stick there as well. Open ice pass along the wing. McWalter comes up to meet it. Beautiful, beautiful open ice pass. Targets Forges. Along the end boards now. Back to McWalter. Nice physical play. Sedenko. Referees say okay. Sedenko on centre ice. Moving the puck freely. Forced to go for the open ice hit. Out towards the offensive zone. They go deep. McWalter again. They are really piling it on early, the Wheat Kings. Cross ice pass, but easily fended off by the ELK. Mulkija. Combining there with Mackay. Mulkija's shot just out there on the left-hand crossbar. Clement up against Mulkija. Mulkija again winning that one out, but only as far as Clement on the rebound. Rebounds defensively does Clement. Converts play to the wings, turned over. Smart turnover by the ELK. It's 2-on-1. Not a lot of coverage inside the slot. Mulkija goes back, maybe. Finds some space on the low slot, maybe. Gets it to Mulkija, scrambling for it, just bobbing out of the pack. And the Wheat Kings rescue themselves for another second. Maybe, however, off the centre ice turnover. Maybe shoots, and maybe scores! Maybe gets back the length of the ELK. The short-handed goal working in their favour this time. Maybe found some space from the centre point off the turnover and gets his double. 4-3 the scoreline for the top of the ladder side. 2.5 minutes played on the CD Dodd scoreboard as you see on the replay. Turnover, maybe, broke free, found some space on the low slot, tipped that one in and says, thank your mother for the Rabbits for that one. So Brian maybe has the lead back for the ELK, 4-3 at the start of this final period. Can the Wheat Kings respond? Slisky from defensive ice. Goes to Kershaw. Forced to flick that one back. Slisky was in fine vicinity. Slisky, can he go back to Kershaw? Tries to, but 2-on-1. One out on that battle. The ELK turn it over. Kershaw shoots, and Dewar with a fine save. Rescuing it there was Brian maybe. Maybe. Can he go for a hat-trick? Maybe. Inside the slot. Maybe gets it in. Hoist shot off the net. Big opportunity there. Brian maybe looking for the hat-trick. We'd have to say he'd be a bit stiff on that one. Penetrating the slot very deeply indeed. And it'll be a face-off on the neutral line. No penalty this time. But the referee's just having a chat there with Duncan and Corey Booton. Face-off on the neutral line as a result. So it'll be Mackay and McWalter. Mackay wins out. Booton frees Sedenko from behind the goal line. Turned over. Here's Kayuchi. Kayuchi off the slot. And Booton with a fine save going down low. Out in front. Sedenko in front of the goal line. Sedenko, open ice pass. Instantly covered by Keramovsky. He's had a bit of a quiet night in patches. Douglas. But bobbled out there, allowing Sedenko to make the pass. It was a blind pass, however. Keramovsky, beautiful cross-ice pass. Douglas tripped up. And the referees will spot that immediately. Although Sedenko did know that it was his fault. He did admit that, but the referees say we're not going to be charitable regardless of that. So Zdenko will spend 2 minutes in the penalty box as a result. It was an easy trip up. You can spot it from up here in the commentary box as well. So Zdenko will spend the next 2 minutes in the penalty box. And these two penalties just not what the Wheat Kings were after. Because even though they were having an extra man on the ice, they still conceded a goal. And they've conceded 2 penalties of their own. They need a short-handed goal themselves if they want to equalise. Maybe off the slot, almost tipped in there, Kaiuchi. But the fine save down low, Corey Booton. A bit of chatter going on between captains of the two teams, Kershaw and Mackay. It has been quite a fascinating contest. Maybe looking to push out back to centre point. Mukija combining well. Mukija looking for the backhand shot. Inside the slot. The Wheat Kings instantly recover it, but they're forced into an open ice hit. The ELK, their tight defence along the low slot, proving to be quite strong in this final period. Turned over. Sinnott. Sinnott trying to break free off the pressure there from number 11 there in Braden Maybe, but he's forced to let the puck go and turn it over to Kaiuchi. Kaiuchi fine play along the end boards, but he lets the puck go. And here's Maybe. Maybe looking for a hat-trick. Forced to go behind the goal line. Tipped in. Mukija! Mukija goes down low, and Mukija gets the hat-trick. Well, if you ever needed a player to turn the game around when it's in the balance, Mark Mukija taking advantage of the breakaway from defence into attack and the short-handed situation, scores another penalty goal. And I think you could say, even if it is 11 minutes to go, that the ELK have this game under control. 5-3 as you see here on the replay. Second tip in by Mukija off the backhand. That backhand with the stick proving to be quite the weapon in this matchup. Face-off being won. Maybe pushes forward immediately. Almost Aberton. Aberton towards Mackay. And Kogiopolis nearly tipping that one in inside the crease, but the referees allowing Booton to hang on to that one. Duncan and Kershaw. Kershaw wins out on the face-off. Paul is forced to push forward. Turns it over at centre ice. Open ice pass behind the goal line. Booton pulls out of the crease. And that's where the ELK can push forward and do some damage if they turn it over. But they don't. Paulus on centre ice. Tried to go for the hoist pass, but only as far as Karamoski. Beautiful direct pass. And Gopoulos almost losing that control of the puck there. Duncan out-battled there by Sinnott. Sinnott and Paulus. Paulus tried to go for the slap shot from high point. They're playing along the wings now, the ELK, but only briefly, as Slisky finds a way to turn it over. Slisky and Clement. Sinnott. Sinnott down low. Well played by Paulus. Paulus shoots that one off the glass. But the referees say, get on with it. Sinnott looking to go cross ice to Kershaw. He's down low. So are a couple of ELK defenders covering the slot area. And the ELK do it brilliantly to force the transition. Duncan. And now Aberton. Aberton under pressure from Slisky. Slisky lost his balance there. That allowed Duncan to easily take possession of the puck. Less than 9 minutes to go in this matchup. 5-3 the scoreline in favour of the ELK. They've been in control in this third and final period. Maybe with a slap shot. Good save by Booton to his right. Murphy playing it along the sideboards now. On the inner wing. Forges pushes forward. McWalter forced to turn that one over momentarily and concede some territory. Zdenko behind the goal line. Zdenko plays it wide. Again, being fended off brilliantly by the Maybe boys. They've been deadly at both ends of the rink here tonight. From the goal line, Duncan along the wings. Koyuchi just letting the skates get in the way there. The ELK can recover it very quickly, and they do. Maybe. No trip up there by Sedenko. Knew how to be careful in that passage. Maybe. Bypasses Koyuchi. Turned over again. The Wheat Kings, they've been much more polished with the puck here when it comes to their possession and passing and their defensive turnovers. Maybe cross-ice to Makija, just a little too much power. And Sinnott from the defensive zone. Goes cross-ice. Sedenko. Beautiful pass by Sedenko to the path of Kershaw. Kershaw guys some space on the slot. Well played. Looking for Sinnott there with the tip in. Deep in the slot, but to no avail. Open ice pass. Will it be an icing call? No, it won't. Turned over. Blind pass. Duncan looking to go cross ice here. Loses control of the puck at the last moment. Douglas shoots. And well saved in the end by Booten. Clement. Clement finding his way through. Sinnott on the low slot. Now looking for Slisky. Slisky shoots. Wide to the right-hand crossbar. Sinnott deep in the low slot. Scrambling for it there with Dewar. Forced to go out back. Well played there by Duncan. Turning that one over. Open ice pass. Recovered well by Paulus for the Wheat Kings. Clement. Cross ice again. Too much power behind it. And out the back, Connor Mackay, the captain. In fact, it was an interference call. And the puck will go all the way back to the attacking zone for the ELK. It'll be a big win for the ELK at this stage, judging by how they've played the game and have controlled the game in this third period. Ukija shoots. Going deep, almost an own goal there. Slisky able to recover. Kershaw has got the puck out in front. Has some space. Goes for the breakaway. Can he seal it with a fine goal? No. Well saved by Dewar, flicking that one out back. Here's Mukija. Shoots. Booten. Fine save to his left. Hoist pass immediately to Maybe. Now Mukija along the end boards. Was he tripped up there by Slisky? Referee saying no. From the back, on centre ice. Aberton storms around. Needs to find a target. He does. Finds Braden maybe. Maybe. Cross ice. Mukija just couldn't trap it. But rescued there by Maybe. One chance. Two chances. And doesn't get the shot to the back of the net. It's wide of the left-hand crossbar. Slisky forced to work from behind the goal line now. Has to let it go because the ELK were pushing forward very quickly. Icing call imminent. And yes, it will be an icing call. Just looking ahead, as we mentioned, next week, March 3rd, Wednesday night rivalry night. Back at it once again. We've got the Beavers and the Wheat Kings doing battle. And then in the second game, we have got possibly a very crucial game for the Crusaders. They're taking on the Wolves. A win would certainly keep them in the finals race. And a hip and shoulder, some interference. But the advantage is being paid there to the Wheat Kings as Murphy plays the puck out in front. Nice stick checking by Murphy. Forced to go for the open ice pass along the end boards. Not a lot of opportunities presented there inside the slot, or is there? Forges. McWalter. And a skate race there with Karamovsky. But Karamovsky wins out. Plays the puck back towards centre ice. Ondrasek is in front, however. Ondrasek looks to go cross ice. He elects not to. Plays it along the end boards. Aberton nearly tripped up Sinnott there. But McWalter. Open ice pass towards the corner. McWalter again. Sedenko. Hip and shoulder tripping up there. The referee spotted that one immediately. And that will be a face-off. And for Sedenko, it'll be some time in the penalty box again. This is his second penalty for the game. And so the ELK will have another advantage. 5-on-4. Sedenko not too happy with that one. But that is the rules in the Summer League competition. You can't make sufficient physical contact with your opponent, and that'll be another varsity bar power play. I think that's about the 5th or 6th in this game. And so the next 2 minutes will go 5-on-4 in favour of the ELK. Maybe pushes it out back, looking for Makidja. That's where he goes. Makidja forced to play from behind the goal line. The slot well covered there by the Wheat Kings. Goes around, finds some space. Mackay, slap shot by Mackay. And on the chest of Corey Booton with a fine save. ELK just wanting to chew the time up here and end the game because they've been dominant in this third and final period. They've scored 2 vital goals. Makidja and maybe. As the puck is back in control of the ELK. Karamovsky. Forward pass, turned over. It was a blind pass. Slisky. Almost with a tip in off the low slot. Open ice pass, but look who is open. Look who is open. It's Kaiuchi. Kaiuchi from point blank range. Boom. Second chance for Kaiuchi. No luck either. But gee, that would have been an easy goal there for the ELK as Kaiuchi found himself with about 5 metres of space. Tipped in there by Maybe on the low slot. And Braden Maybe gets his first. That just further seals the issue for the ELK. They have played another complete game and hence why they're on top of the ladder. They will go 2 wins clear. As we see on the CD Dodd replay. Makidja out the back. Forced to work it out back. Fine cross-ice pass towards Braden Maybe. And Maybe seals the issue for the ELK with less than 90 seconds to go in this match. 6-3 the scoreline. The ELK have just dominated this final period. Maybe they want more. And it's another one. It's another goal to the ELK, making it 7-3, and it's Douglas pushing forward off the face-off on the breakaway towards the offensive zone and says, I'll have the goal, and it was an effortless one. The ELK, my goodness gracious me, a barrage of 4 goals. Douglas pushed forward on the face-off, won his own puck brilliantly, and backed it up with a fine wrist shot towards the back of the net. That's a fine solo effort from Chris Douglas. And with less than a minute to go, the scoreline now 7-3 on the CD Dodd scoreboard. They have scored 4 goals, the ELK, holding the Wheat Kings to absolutely nothing in what has been one-way traffic in favour of the ELK. Douglas forced to rebound off the boards. And it's an icing call. Clock will continue to tick over. No doubt the ELK will be celebrating tonight. And rightfully so. They will register their 18th win of this season's competition, while the Wheat Kings, well, it's not as a bad loss as some may think. They will still hold on 4th place, but they'll have other results needing to go their way in order to hang on to 4th place. Last few possessions now. The buzzer's just about due to go. Sedenko has it on centre ice. It's all over. The ELK just too strong when it mattered in the final period, scoring 4 goals and holding the Wheat Kings to absolutely zilch in that final period to score a comfortable 7-3 victory in the second game here at the Perth Ice Arena. The ELK just too strong in the end and winning their 18th game in the competition and heavily boosting their goal difference once again. The goals, Makidja with 3, Maybe with 2, Braden Maybe with another, and Chris Douglas with that last one. And for the Wheat Kings, Jesse Forgews with a double and James Kershaw with the other goal for the Wheat Kings. The ELK just too strong when it counted. That just about does it here at the Perth Ice Arena on this Wednesday night. We've had 2 great games as part of PSL Summer League Wednesday night rivalry night. Not just those watching at home, but also at the Varsity Bar in Leadlands who have enjoyed another night's worth of ice hockey action here in WA. Next week, we've got 2 great games coming your way, so make sure you tune in from 6:30 Wednesday night here at the Perth Ice Arena for more PSL Summer League action as the regular season reaches its climax. On behalf of Bailey, Ryan, Matt, and all of the Front Row Screens team, this is Paul Persick wishing you a very good evening, and we'll be back here next week for more PSL action on your #1 sports streaming service in 2021, Front Row Screens. So long, everybody.